Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Middleton, and today I wanted to speak with you about candidate dispositions and their importance to both students and professionals. The first disposition is for students in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction is professional practice and work ethic. This disposition's intent is to teach and model professional and ethical practices for students and their future roles in education. This could be K through 12 or post-secondary education. The ethics of this are based in preparing students for the workforce, giving these students different practical explanations of values, work ethic, morals, and kind of just laying the groundwork for what is going to be a future in higher education or any other level of education. And this lays the framework for current students to develop professional skills and practice those skills before they're actually into the workforce. And it also sets standards for those who are currently working in this profession. It sets a framework for them to kind of have like a checks and balances system. This disposition allows students, faculty, staff the opportunity to maybe see where they may be lacking, see where they are strong in one area, and potentially create different practices and expand their work ethic in order to be a better department. So, my experience with this disposition is kind of really to be all over the place. I've worked in housing, I've worked in student conduct, I've worked in student affairs in general. And so, my experience with this disposition is that it impacts my current role in student conduct pretty heavily, right? And so, I really need to learn how to manage both these practices and these work ethics and how I can do those or explain those while I'm at work on a day-to-day basis. A subtopic of this is timeliness, and it relates to the due process aspect of student conduct and making sure that I'm hearing these cases in an appropriate time frame, and so that students aren't just being dragged along throughout the process. With that being said, it also talks about initiative and the initiative that I have to take when dealing with every type of case, because even though the case may have the same charge, for example, alcohol, how I got to that case and how that student got to that point is unique, and I need to be able to balance that out. Paying attention to details. It's important because the details are the facts of the case, or actually the non-facts of the case. And what I mean by that is what is in fact truth or fiction, and where does that lead me? Is the student going to become responsible for their infraction or not responsible? And finally, it talks about appearance. And I think this is important because you don't have to be in a business suit in order to stand out in this role. And so I make sure that I want to promote that my appearance is calm, open, and accepting. And then all these combined, it leads to a student conduct hearing that could either be calm, like a tranquil, still forest, or it could be an emotional roller coaster, like a storm that's building up. So, Disposition 2 defines and promotes the qualities of a student in the education program, as well as qualities of professionals in education. These qualities make great students, strong student leaders, and good employers or educators. The ethics of this disposition are based on the expected values that we hold as educators, as well as what we plan to hold our students to. And having these professional qualities set a framework for leading by example, and more importantly, the ability for us educators to mentor these students for their future roles as either educators or leaders or both. So my experience in education has shown me that diversity will fuel growth and understanding. And I think this is key because with different minds and different ideologies fuels an understanding that there are other aspects to get to from point A to point B. And promoting success establishes a sense of loyalty, and it actually establishes a sense of healthy competition. I've learned that to be successful, I really have to strive for my own level of greatness plus whatever my supervisor is searching for. Being flexible is key to the achievement of each and every student as well as the institution. This is important because at the end of the day, life happens, and students, faculty, staff, we really can't control everything that's happening in the world. And so I've learned that it's important for my job to be understanding and to be helpful when possible. And finally, honesty, integrity. It allowed me for the ease of transparency, and it'll lead to the understanding of expectations across the board. My expectations to my staff's expectations of me, and so on and so forth. So, disposition number three has the intent to establish an understanding that professional relationships are paramount to the success of students, faculty, staff, and the institution as a whole. When there are silos, partnerships and collaborations are when there are no silos, sorry, partnerships and collaborations are key, and they end up making projects and ideas flow a lot more fluidly. Disposition three connects the CAS principles of beneficence. And it's associated with this disposition because building these relationships requires us to treat others courteously and considers ideas and impacts and work for the best outcome for both the students and the institution. Ultimately, this professional relationship set a framework for other partnerships and collaboration, and it also establishes an understanding that we as educators and students are not alone, and we can do this as a group and never by ourselves. So my experience with this disposition, specifically this year, and I was able to present this in a recent course, was a program that I put on called Watch Your Back. I built these relationships with other entities, the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, the Health and Wellness Promotion Office at West Texas A&M University, as well as a partnership with the Texas Department of Transportation. All of these entities were able to help me with this event and help students show up to this event. And this event ended up having a really record number for a first time event, especially as it relates to student conduct education and alcohol education. And it actually laid the framework for something that's going to be a traditional event. I plan on having alcohol education all throughout as a tradition every year. I want a program like this, either this big or even bigger, to happen every single year. So, the intent of Disposition for professional development is to promote growth and futuristic thinking. Professional development, or as some of us call it, ProDev, it instills a sense of passion for our craft while really feeding the lifelong learner aspect many educators possess. The ethics behind this disposition are based in loyalty, and they really flow with ACPA's student learning outcomes and based on student development. So, this provides students and employees with an opportunity to grow within their profession while building on the passion they already have and already established within their work. And it lays a framework for professionalism, professional growth, loyalty, employee satisfaction, and many other standards necessary for a successful and including workplace. So I really think that with my experience, professional development has been crucial to my all-around work career. These numbers that were provided by the Lorman team are pretty much spot on, and it showed that 76% of employees felt that they were satisfied or had a satisfaction level when professional development was involved, while 46% of employees thought that it was important, it's needed, and 76 thought, hey, this position is appealing if it offers professional development. Um, I'll give a quick story and background of why this is important. My current role as student conduct, I quickly said yes to this as my supervisor was quick to offer professional development. And before I even started my first day in office, they flew me out to a conference saying that this is what I'll need and I need to attend. And it showed that they really cared about what I wanted to do and my passion for student conduct. And I was very quick to say yes to this job offer because professional development was a key role. So, my philosophy or my original disposition, I think it's simple. And I wanted it to be simple because I wanted it to be able to use and achieve daily. So, my role as a leader and employer is to listen to the needs of the students and staff while using qualities that will aid in the success of both students and staff alike. I will strive to be transparent in every aspect of the job while bringing clarity. I will remain consistent in my decision making and my processes, and more importantly, I will be fair and just and objective while I'm making harder decisions. I will promote growth and camaraderie throughout my division and amongst the student population. That's my philosophy, and I think it carries so much importance because this philosophy can be used across the board. I don't have to change my philosophy with every new position I take as I potentially climb the ladder to my future role. And so I like this philosophy because I'm going to hold on to it for the rest of my life. And so, I aspire to be a vice president or a president and of a college institution. And I think that implementing divisional dispositions and standards is crucial because everyone will know what they're expected of from the beginning and what we're striving to do. Our university mission, our goals, what standards, all of those things can be laid out from the beginning. And it allows everyone to understand what we are striving to do as an institution, as well as a division specifically. And it's crucial because it creates a positive work culture and environment for both the staff, faculty, and the student body. In advance, knowing these dispositions and standards will allow the staff to buy into what is called the school spirit and what it means to be a student at that institution, no matter how big or how small. And the students don't have to be the only people that buy into the school spirit. If the dispositions and expectations, standards, and ethics are laid out early on and work together as a team, faculty and staff will buy into this school spirit as well. And it really will become an institution that is promoted by everyone across the board from top to bottom. Here are some of the references that I use throughout this presentation. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and thank you for coming along.